This is going to be a longer video, the full recap of day one. If y'all can, man, hit the like button right now. Thank you. I'm not going to ask you guys for cash apps and all that stuff, but please hit the like button right now. Thank you in the interim, because we got a lot of stuff that we got to get to, bro. I got some notes. I'm going to be reading from my notes. I will not be stopping anything, so you guys will be perfectly fine with all of that stuff. I'm going to reread my opening statements because there were some things that I purposely left out because I wasn't able to see the opening statements from the prosecutors, but I know exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they are doing it. And on top of that, we're going to basically destroy and ether all of this shit, because I know the secret that the Fed's been playing in front of our face the whole entire time. But obviously I got to wait to the end to give it to y'all. So let's do it. We were told, and if you're from the 4-minute video previously, then you might want to skip ahead. But I'm going to tell you, there's going to be other details that I left out, so you probably don't want to skip ahead. But we were told the don't book no flights. It wasn't about LA. Don't book no flights in my name wasn't about LA. So in the opening statement from the prosecutors, the main point that they tried to do and say was this. Your boy Lil Durk knew it was hot. Your boy Lil Durk booked the plane to sit up here and leave the country. What they didn't tell you was Durk did panic. Nobody's disputing that. I left that out. I left that part out purposely because I was wondering why the hell the defense decided to bring this shit up. But obviously I didn't know the prosecution's freaking beginning. So they talk about Durk not initially giving himself up, him barricading himself. Yeah, because he's calling people, letting people know I'm about to go to jail. It's going to be a little ugly. The marshals are here and all this stuff. The U.S. Marshals announced themselves as the U.S. Marshals. The marshals are the feds most of the time. Now, they will help assist in state cases where they think it's just some of the most dangerous shit. When that comes to mind is Get Money Lil Ronnie, when his daughter and him, when they unfortunately were killed in Texas, and then they went and the marshals got the guys. So they got the other guy. The one guy just turned himself in. So the marshals typically are coming from the feds. And you know this because if you've been to a federal building, the marshals are the ones who run the courtrooms and all of this stuff, who bring in the witnesses, who bring in the people who are being prosecuted. So that's what that was all about. And then I'm going to destroy something that Trap Lord Ross said too in this whole entire thing. So basically, the guilty murder shit, that's not really going to be a thing that they're going for as far as trying to say Durk ever killed somebody or any of that shit. They're kind of already destroying their own theory within that part. But Jim is their star witness. He will be in there tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, because we're going to break that immediately when they come out. When we take a break, I'm finna run down, you know what I'm saying, and do my thing and let y'all know. So they bring up from 2022 to 2023, February, that boy wasn't outside and he ratted on 30 cases with no directions from Lil Durk. All the cases that Jam snitched on, he never mentioned Lil Durk in any of this shit. He never mentioned Lil Durk in any of that. So that's important. One of the other snitches that's coming in is a person called Keith Jones, but he never knew Lil Durk. He did a 5-hour interrogation where they never discussed Lil Durk ever. He's Jam's friend. He don't know Lil Durk, but he decides to drop Lil Durk's name, and it seems like they were hinting to Lil Durk and all that crap. So there's that part. Kayvon Grant, aka Vonni, he's a snitch. He's going to be one of the most important snitches. I think Jam's more important because of the murders that Jam's committed. So they're going to try to play Lil Durk as guilty by association by hanging out with Jam. That's what that is. So Kayvon Grant is a snitch. He got the rooms. He got the car, the stolen cars, the rental, the ski mask, the sprinter. They're putting him as the mastermind. He did the hit in Georgia, the original hit in Georgia, and he had the guns and all this shit and everything. And it's funny because they shot at Quando Rondo at a gas station only for him to get shot at again in the gas station. And Quando Rondo is a lucky individual. God was protecting Quando Rondo because, boy, that shit was crazy when you seen it. And I'll explain exactly what happened in the video step by step. You will see, I will let you know detail by detail. It'll make you feel like that, but it has to kind of go in sync with this right here. So when Vonni got picked up, when they were on him, he didn't originally snitch on Lil Durk. They said, how did this all come together? All this stuff. Vonni say, check the credit cards. The craziest part is Vonnie's name ain't even on the credit cards at all. He had access to it, but this was $151,000 freaking credit limit where they've been using it. And the reason why Vonni was so close, because he was Durk's assistant. We get into that a little bit later. So he's the one that said this shit. And then he also tried to leave, and then he tried to, do a whole bunch of shit. Now, the stalking part of Lil Durk being in freaking LA, Durk lives in LA. He's been living in LA. So they reveal all of this shit. It's not like Durk just has some little town. No, Durk actually lives in LA, has a house and everything. Nice ass house. Obviously, I'm not going to be dropping a location on that. Yeah, all of his family were in LA too. It wasn't just Lil Durk that was living in the house by himself. It ain't like, oh, this is a little getaway. No, this is where he was staying. And that's what makes that, I hate when niggas say Cali niggas is weird and all this stuff. That's what makes more sense when he said that shit. So what they're saying is, you're not going to see any money evidence. He never mentions a bounty. There's no reward. And who opened it wasn't Chris O'Connell. It wasn't Drew Finland. It wasn't Brian Steele. It was Marissa Goldberg. Now, how they're seated is Drew is the one closest to the judge. Marissa is next to Drew. Brian Steele is to the left of Lil Durk. And then Christy O'Connell is to the right of Lil Durk. So that's how it's set up. Why it's set up like that, I don't know. I didn't ask Drew none of that shit. But me and Drew got to talk for a little bit. It was good catching up with him. Cat's out the bag. Drew's my guy, man. So let y'all know that's my guy, man. He's like, man, get seeing you again, bro. Anyways, Trap Lord Ross put out a video that let a lame like 6ix9ine try to dictate some bullshit that never happened. So let me clear this BS that Trap Lord Ross put up. Trap Lord Ross is my guy, and if he wants to combat what I'm saying, he's more than welcome to combat what I'm saying. When you my homie, that's what you can do. But what he put out is bullshit. See, there now the narrative, now the illustration being painted is Lil Durk snitched. That's not what happened at all. What happened was OTF Vonni said he did all of these things. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. All Lil Durk's lawyer said was, you have no proof that Lil Durk was a part of what Vonni told y'all. You have zero proof of what Vonni told y'all. You have zero proof of what Jam told y'all. Zero. So Vonnie's the mastermind of the damn shooting in Blackshear, Georgia. He's the mastermind of the LA shooting. And he admits it. He admits all this shit. So it made more sense for him to flip and snitch. It made more sense for Didi to flip and snitch. It made a lot more sense for them to do that because they were dumb. And we'll explain it a little bit later on, but the whole Lil Durk snitch shit, that's the equivalent of me and you doing the crime and you telling the whole entire thing and I say, bro, I don't know nothing about that shit. I don't know what he's talking about. That ain't got shit to do with me. Nigga, I'm at home. That ain't got nothing to do with me. If you tell this is your evidence, this is the Fed evidence, and I say, no, that had nothing to do with me, what the hell you think I'm supposed to say? That's not snitching. That's saying, feds, if y'all gonna say this man is snitching and he's telling the truth, here's where I'm gonna cut out everything and let you know none of that shit that was said was true. That's not snitching. Snitching would have been, Oh, Lil Durk said, well, Vonni was over here and I gave Vonni this and all this shit. See, if Durk would have snitched on Vonni, he would have had to say something to the effect of, I knew what was going on. And none of that happens. So you can't call this man a snitch if his whole defense is, I didn't know none of this shit was going on. And it's based off of the evidence that Vonni presented. If I say he's a liar, that's not me being a damn snitch. That doesn't even make sense. So miss me with that bullshit, man. That's why you get cross-examined for what you say against anything, whether it's anti-prosecution or pro-prosecution. So we get on to Diddy's damn, Diddy, his lawyer. And Diddy's lawyer, I'm gonna be honest with you. If anybody was supposed to snitch, it was supposed to be Deesky. Whether y'all know him as Diddy or Deesky, it is what it is. If anybody had the ability to snitch and get like 2 to 3 years, 5 at max, it would have been him. Because what happened is they say Diddy was riding passenger and Diddy always popped up to do songs and shit. Diddy was basically a hungry artist. And so he was going to studios. He was just in the car. He was in the BMW. He didn't know before. He wasn't needed and did nothing at all. He went everywhere last minute. So the recruitment shit isn't real because he didn't have a gun. He didn't have a mask. He didn't have shit. His lawyer makes a hell of a case. He says, Vonni got the location from Instagram. Vonni was already living in LA and we'll explain that because Vonni been in LA for months. So hell nah. And then Jam had to drop on the downtown LA. He don't got no mask on. He ain't had no gun, no text against Quando Rondo. That's I'm saying Jam had to drop on downtown LA and that Vonni didn't have a mask, no gun, no text or anything against Quando Rondo, which means he wasn't in the quote unquote conspiracy. Then David Lindsay's lawyer came up and bro, I'm gonna be honest, this shit that he said, he destroyed his own self. He says there is no agreement. His whole entire thing is to destroy the murder for hire point. But then he says something that doesn't make any damn sense. So he says there's no agreement, there's no plan, and there's no payment. And he's not fighting the murder. I'm not hiding at all. So it's not planned. That's how I took it. Other people may say that differently, but how I took it was he wasn't really fighting the murder part. He said he was in California. He said he wasn't in agreement. He said he talked to the same people he always talked to. He said no money was ever given in August 19th, before or after, and there's no payment of videos, and there's no rap videos that he's in. He doesn't even rap. So there's that part. And then I didn't write it, but he basically said, you don't see my client get out that car with a gun, but you clearly see this tall ass dude get out there with a damn gun. He's 100% cooked, in my opinion. He's the one where I'm looking at this shit like, bruh, I don't know what your lawyer talked to the feds about, but it's clear your lawyer is trying to destroy certain aspects of the feds argument. And for the record, shout out to Lawyer for Workers. We got a chance to talk and shit. But I said, what's up, Top? Motherfucker just looked at me. Cause like, come my size. A little bit taller. He like 6'4", bruh. 6'5". That's a tall, lanky ass dude, man. So I got a chance to chop it up with him. Shit, I even gave him my damn notebook. I hear, bro, you know what I'm saying? Gave him one of my pens. So, I'm just as solid as they come. So, opening day 1, LAPD custodian confirmed the 911 call. There was 8 calls that were made. First call didn't even want to ID themselves. They were crying and scared as shit. She flat out said, I don't want to leave any information. That's flat out from her freaking words. Then there's a detective of LA for 30 years, robbery homicide, 19 years. He was the crime scene cop. He's the one who places the investigators and testified to the shooting video. 3 people hopped out of the car and the damn video lasts for 5 seconds, bruh. You see them hop out the car. They walking up, they looking. Somebody let out the switch. Another person only let out 2 shots. So I'll reveal this later on because I can't remember his name. I say somebody ran off. Quando Rondo was in the car. So what happened was, and I'll get more into detail a little bit later, the Escalade was getting gas. They just got done getting gas. And Quando Rondo is on the rear passenger side. There's another dude in there. He's in the middle. And goddamn Lul Pab was in the passenger side of the driver's side. He ends up getting hit 4 times. He gets hit right here. He gets hit in the arm. It goes in and out. Then he gets hit right here. That bullet stays in, but he gets hit right here, right up under, and it pierces his heart in his lung, and that's what ultimately killed him, man. Boy, that shit was, seeing death ain't never natural. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm used to it though, but there were 16 shots, 9mm, and 2 shots from the, there's 16 total shots, 14 for the 9mm and 2 from a 10mm. We find out later why the SUV was parked inside of the pump, because I'm like, bruh, you big lacking. For you to get shot at in Blackshear, Georgia, and y'all parking like that, I thought that was some goofy ass shit. You find out that Pab is in like the middle of the damn shit. Pab is in the middle of the car, basically dying. You can hear him breathing out loud, and you can hear his last breaths, bro. It was pretty rough, man. The tire got popped, you feel me? The driver's side rear wheel, that was popped. The right rear window was shot out, pardon me. David's lawyer made sure to note no guns, no fingerprints for his client, planning, no involvement plan. That's what he was doing. And then the second cop is from Montclair PD. What I noticed too was that the first 2 cops, they were talking directly to the jury. So when they were speaking, you knew that they did this before. I picked that up from the Donuts, the A&E freaking cop from YSL. When they talk directly to the jury, what we find out is that's more favorable. So I'm noting and I'm noticing who's talking to the jurors and who's not. Lul Pab's shoes was left at the crime scene, which was crazy as shit. The cop says he was shot in the back. It turns out he actually wasn't. And then Quando Rondo was in the car. Everybody was in the freaking car. And then the Fed lawyer made sure that when he was describing the scene, he made sure to say, and the guy Quando Rondo was screaming, no. He made sure to say that because I think they're going to set up for another play with this shit when they produce it again. So you had a doctor come in and say that Lul Pab was shot in the left arm, 1 shot in the chest, 2 inches basically from his nipple. Right by his heart, left chest. So the left side of it, his lung, rib, and heart. It's called a periodical sect, S-E-C-T. And it stayed in there. The bullet stayed in the pericardial set. Machine Gun Kelly popped up, man. He went to the overflow. It was crazy. And then he ended up popping up and went to the actual jurors. Machine Gun Kelly wore some damn platforms, make it seem like he's 6'7", bro. But shout out to Machine Gun Kelly, man. He rocked with the channel. So shout out to him. So Lul Pab died from internal bleeding from the bullet hitting the heart and the lung. The second shot was left bicep. It went in and out. And then he was shot twice in the arm, basically in the upper arm. And then another one had hit his forearm. And then they say that basically he tried to protect himself. That's why his arm had that bullet in there. Then another LA detective, CW, I can't remember his name. He's robbery and homicide. He didn't look at the jury during testifying. And he's going to be the one that pops back up tomorrow. So he goes on to talk about 3 people were in the car, which actually, no, it was 4. They had a hired driver, so that's 5 people in there. And it was crazy is Quando Rondo was on his way home. They were on their way to the airport, bro. So you have somebody named Tyreek Johnson and then Carlos Lester. So let me talk to y'all about Carlos Lester. Carlos Lester was in the front passenger side. That dude ran. When them shots started spinning, bro, he hopped out the car and ran, bro. I thought that was interesting to see because I'm like, hell nah. So, yeah, they were on their way to Augusta, Georgia. And then, yeah, they got their gas. Lul Pab, yeah. Had they never got gas, Lul Pab would still be alive. That's what I've been to write. And then it says he's proven what he's doing. I noticed this is he was proving the stalking portion that they all wanted to put up because Quando Rondo went to a weed store and then he stopped to get bait. And these cats didn't even realize these two white cars that's following them. And it's kind of crazy because one of the cars had fake tags on them, and then the BMW went to VM Exotics. And VM Exotics, man, y'all some cold bastards, bro. They ended up giving the info for the GPS shit that basically Vonni was riding in that car with, bro. So they had the fake tags on the what was it called? I have it written down somewhere else. It's another white car. Anyways, Durk was a customer of VM Exotics, and they had a picture of him, like a literal picture of Lil Durk and the owner of VM Exotics, where they took a picture, but they also put Lil Durk on their goddamn website. So that's one of the things that the damn detective, he noted. So they have no evidence of who got the rental at all, but the BMW was returned by Vonni the very next day after the murder. So the officer showed a picture to the jury with Vonni on it in an icebox, and the cop says he got money from Lil Durk. That was objected to for speculation because you don't know where he got the damn money. He just said out his mouth, the cop just said, oh yeah, this is Vonni getting jewelry, and he was giving the money. He was given the money by Lil Durk, and Brian still objected. And yeah, because bro, that's speculation. You don't know who the hell gave him that money. And then they made sure to put it out there that Vonni was an assistant to Lil Durk. He also, this is an LA cop who testified about the killing of King Von. He never even said who killed King Von, but he was acting like he knew a whole bunch of shit. And then he got the GPS from Vonni. The VM owner gave GPS data to the cops, didn't give other money info, and then a warrant was given to get the video of Vonni putting up the doggone, Vonni putting up the damn car, sending it back to him and all that shit. But the reason why he gave the GPS to the cop was because they were holding on to that car for a minute. And then the owner of VMM was like, man, look, my shit got GPS on it, bro. I'll give y'all the GPS to get my car back. So the GPS shows that Vonni went to Durk's house before, and he went to Durk's house after the murder and all this shit. It's crazy. He knew to get fake tags for the other car, but not his, which to me screams, you pretty goddamn stupid. Like, you should have never, you didn't even do anything. You didn't shoot, you didn't do shit. If you let your homeboys, and I think what they were doing was trying to shield for the fake tags, that's my belief is, hey, bro, the other white car, bro, we gonna go ahead and shield just in case just so the police can't pull them over. They gotta pull us over. That's what I believe what it is. Keith Jones, DeAndre, Casey Hester, Jam, Feds got everybody by their shoes, pants, rags to riches. The pants was easy to find online. The cop said all he did was Google and found out that Rags to Riches was made in Chicago. He sent the picture to Chicago PD, and Chicago PD gave him everything. Chicago PD got the damn the video stills from LAPD, sent them over. They're like, oh, that's Diddy. Oh, bro, that's Jam. So they got Jam by his shoes. Jam was in there with pictures and that shit. So the Fed is being the leader for the second LAPD, said Exhibit 102 and 103 were the same. They were not. So what happened was the Fed attorney's gonna say something about Exhibit 102. And he's like, yeah. I seen that. And then the Fed go, no. It was 103. He go, yeah, I seen that. No, you didn't. You're just going off of what they telling you. You following their script. And he looked a little green around the goddamn gills because a trained police officer / detective who goes on the stand, they know to look at the jury. He didn't look at the jury but maybe once or twice. But he kept on following the lead. And I'm very aware of that shit. He was following the lead of what the feds were saying. He would agree to anything they said. He didn't correct shit they said, even when they got 102 and 103 exhibits wrong. You would think you would know some shit like that. But yeah, they had an orange shirt. That was David Lindsay. Then Keith Jones wore the same clothes all throughout this shit. That was kind of crazy. DeAndre Wilson, they were all on the same flight. Jam wore the same clothes for both days, seen it in and out and arriving on flight with the same goddamn clothing on in his red St. Louis hat. And then David Lindsay had a gun in the photo, but his lawyer said he did not have one. Bruh, that shit was crazy. You can clearly tell it was David Lindsay. So it goes on to say this is OTF Vonni's name on the credit cards. Ola Ali Balagun. Yeah. OLA space ALIBALOGUN. That's Vonni shit. You had Lil Durk on there. You had Dante Banks, who they say that's Durk's dad. And then Jason Smith. I don't remember who the hell that was. So you find out that Vonni had the damn car since 8/16/2022 that they can pinpoint as far as the GPS and all that shit. Then 8/19, Vonni's still in possession. But it's crazy because Vonni and Durk bought flights to Miami on 8/11 and showed up 8/12, which goes to what they were saying in their motions. When Lil Durk got so much money and he spends it in such a frivolous way, they don't plan their trips. They just go. If they want to go, they're going to go. If you was cool with Lil Durk say, hey, bro, tomorrow Lil Durk can do something like this, say, man, we finna go to Miami. Then when we going to Miami tomorrow, I'm about to book the flights right now. Nigga, ain't no plan or nothing like that. Nah, we just finna go. And they did that. So 8/16, he flew out to Miami with Lil Durk from LA, and then they returned the very next day. Durk spent like maybe 10 hours in Miami and came right back. So Justin Gibson, Devontae Richmond, and Kevon Grant, they all bought fights that day to that shit. It was a credit card of $151,000, and then it shows Lil Durk's tickets were bought the day of. Proves that Lil Durk and Kevon Grant Vonni are tight. August 14th through August 20th, Vonni came to get the rental. 6/3/22 to 7/1/2022. That's okay. So June 3rd, 2022 is when Vonni had bought this rental that he kept on coming back to. And he was staying from July 1st, 2022 to October 1st, 2022. Bruh, this rental cost $105,000. And basically, it was a place for Vonni that was in Valley Vista. I had an Addy, but I'm not going to put that on there. Then it shows that Vonni bought the ski mask August 18th, 2022. The day before the killing, Vonni pulled up the night before on Quando Rondo. The FBI proved the stalking on behalf of Vonni for sure. He kept coming back to this Sheridan that Quando Rondo was in, bro. They literally could have killed Quando Rondo the night of just Vonni and Jam, and they would have told on each other. They would have literally snitched on each other, bro. Had these idiots decided to crash out because Jam wanted to crash out right then and there at the Sheridan, Vonni like, nah, it's too hot. So they start getting pissed. And this is when Jam and Vonni start going their own ways with their own cars. That's why all that shit went the way that it went. That's why there was a different vehicle, because Jam like, hey, I'm on that. Vonni like, all right, well, let me play my part. And basically, this is my opinion. And basically stop this shit as far as the police being able to pull you over because I'm gonna always be behind you. So the BMW stayed until 1 a.m. at one point in time. You see Quando Rondo, bro, these niggas did not know death was knocking on their door because they were just outside looking dumb as shit. And had them cats popped out, man, they would have smoked Quando Rondo. I'm just gonna be fair, square, obvious, and honest. So at 9:20 in the morning, Quando Rondo's rental truck comes in, and then Vonni pops up in front of the damn rental truck. The day that Lul Pab gets killed, Vonni had popped up literally on Quando Rondo and put the car in front of him. I'm talking, bro, it looked like this. This is Quando Rondo's truck, parked waiting. Vonni drives right here, boom. Yeah, shout out my New York Giants. And boom, parks right here. I'm like, oh, Vonni a pussy. Vonni, you could have got active right there. You could have ran up and bang, bang, bang and got up out of there. But he didn't. So he parks in front of Quando Rondo, Escalade Rentals. He watched him get inside the truck. And then basically that's what that was. The Quando Rondo went to get weed, then got clothes. Quando Rondo heads to the gas station. White BMW, it's an Infinity. That's what it was. These dudes in an Escalade, because he has a professional driver, the Escalade makes a drive, busts a left, and basically clears the light. These fools run the red light. Now, that's a California thing to do. But 2 cars running a red light like that, man, that's some goofy shit. They never knew this. They never noticed this shit. And y'all be like, yo, Seti Nash, remember, we see you outside, your eyes be up. I'm like, bro, I notice all of this shit. I don't be paranoid for no reason. This kind of exonerated me. And everybody hopped out that truck. When they pull up to the gas station, everybody in Quando Rondo's camp hops out the truck. They go inside the gas station and start getting chips and sodas and candy and all this shit. And what ends up happening is the damn Infinity pulls up on the truck. So before it backs into the gas station, it pulls up at the front of the gas station and let them out. The damn white Infinity is there and is looking. And I'm like, why didn't they just shoot these dudes right here? But they was scoping, they was looking. Quando Rondo was in the back, so they never see Quando Rondo because he in the back of the store trying to decide which soda. Like Quando Rondo, bruh, God was with you that day. 1,000,000%. God was with Quando Rondo that goddamn day, bruh, because holy shit, his ass could have died. Where he decided to sit, there were 2 bodies in front of him that protected him from them damn bullets, from the 16 bullets. So I'll say the Infinity rolls up to the Escalade while Quando Rondo's inside the store. The Infinity leaves, it circles the block. They already made their decision. They just finna get out. They're like, we ain't seeing him, but we know he in there. So what initially happened is they believe that Quando Rondo ass was gonna basically pop out around the time they pop out. So they go around, they go park at the goddamn in the alley, hop out. But before they do, the Escalade pulls up, backs in to get gas. So you have the 3 lanes, right? So the outside, the inside, and then the innermost side closest to the building. He parks in the middle one, backs up, and all of this shit. So that's when the shooting happens. Right after the driver pumps the gas, he closes the door, gets in. The door is open where Lul Pab is. They walk up. In 5 seconds, like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 seconds. I don't even think it was 5 seconds. Might have been 3 or 4 seconds. And that's it. One dude didn't even shoot his gun. But I forget who it is, but he didn't even shoot his shit at all. So that ends the day. But what ends up happening at the end, we find out that OTF Jam is coming to snitch tomorrow, bro. So exhibit 124 and 125, this is outside the presence of the jury. That is admitted due to prior orders. 227 and 228 is 404B issue, meaning they were hiding this shit. We never got it, which actually wasn't true. The judge can't really understand what's being discussed. We kind of understand what's being discussed a little bit. So the prosecutors say It's a text between Jam and Lil Durk. And Jam is going to be snitching to it. It was done January 2023, where we find out that the Block is Hot video shoot. That's when they press Jam. Is like, hey, bruh, the feds is on it. So Durk and them know the feds is on it. And they're like, bruh, you making shit hot as hell. This is when Jam decided to turn snitch. Nobody killed his baby mama or no shit like that from OTF or none of that shit. She actually, the lady who got killed wasn't even his damn baby mama. And two, that was unfortunately the wrong goddamn person. That's where they got on Jam, and then they told him, hey, bro, you gotta leave. And then he noticed that everybody started cutting him off. And Durk said to him, you making it hot, bro. And I write text message with it saying, Durk, you making it hot, Jam. Y'all getting distant and not even fucking with me. Durk, you need to use your brain. Jam say, I'm not doing nothing. I understand on my son. Durk say, that's all I'm saying. The feds say, this is about Lul Pab shooter. Durk lawyers say, no, we don't know what it means. Durk lawyers say, that's not even what it means because there's a prior thread that basically comes out and it says, well, this is the 227, 228 exhibit that's coming in tomorrow. And basically, Durk lawyers say that's not what it means. It's about Jam and India's cousin called, I'm going to find his name in a minute. And Jam basically like F everybody. He talking about Vonni getting him cars to squash the beef with India's cousin. This is what Durk's lawyers are saying. They saying, bro, if you read the text thread, it ain't what the hell he's saying at all. So Durk's lawyers say it's about Chicago beef. It's not LA. It's out of context. And then just say, well, Jam is coming in tomorrow, so y'all gonna cross him on that. Feds say we already gave him this shit. And then it was basically a nigga named Mucho Lamron. And then the defense say it's about a boxing match to fight Richo Lamron. That's what his name is. Richo Lamron. Not no damn Mucho Lamron. Feds say Richo Lamron was hunting Jam. Basically, they say that Durk basically put Richo Lamron to smoke Jam. So they make exhibits 124, 125, 126, and 127, all admitted. And they say, the feds say, we made all this shit aware. And they say it's more discovery. It's a bunch of stuff that just got dumped. And then you pick and choose what you thought was going on. This is the judge telling the defense, like, no, y'all had all this shit, bro. This is what y'all thought was coming in. Y'all try to preempt their shit. And since y'all didn't pick the right shit, it's still going to come in. So the judge like cross them on what is being discussed. The judge says you can't cry when the defense does it to you, to the feds, and basically saying, bro, whatever they decide to present the very next day, don't cry no 404B bullshit. Then he talks about then Christy O'Connell talks about the 403. And then Didi lawyer says the feds are trying to put in things you said they shouldn't. They're talking about trying to shoehorn like little shit. And then Christy says there's so much discovery that it crashed our servers. They brought in so many murders that are tied to Lil Durk. Then the feds say the volume of discovery was the defense fault. They asked for all of it. We gave the exhibits on August 15th, 2026. 803D got denied for renewal from David's lawyer. And then David's lawyers, this is how we ended the court day. David's lawyer says, can we bring ties for our clients? Then BOP was like, nah, that's protocol, bruh. Judge say, well, one lawyer bring him in. Drew says, your lawyer brings them in by law. So the judge says, it's okay with me as long as the marshal says it's good. They talking about tying shit in. Now, that's it. That's all. Jam is coming in tomorrow. We'll have the lawyer. We'll have the same cop kind of testifying to it. Because what the cop is the detective is trying to do is he's trying to prove that Vonni ass was reporting back to Lil Durk. That's his whole entire argument that the feds are trying to do. And right now, they ain't really made it yet, but they will when they start dropping more addresses and all this shit. But what I believe the feds have done, I think they proved their damn stalking case. But the hardest part is to tie it to Lil Durk. You had to make sure Durk had prior knowledge to this shit. And on top of that, they really just tied stalking to the snitches and to David. But not really David, because shit. One could argue David didn't get involved with none of this shit. They admit David didn't really know anybody. David Lynch didn't know no goddamn body. He knew Durk, but that's about it. He didn't even know Durk that long. So that's that. More the opening shit comes out, bro. Then it comes out. Let me check my phone real quick. I'm supposed to be getting some shit that's you know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be happening. So if it does, we're gonna be breaking some crazy ass news. And yeah, we ain't got it. But yeah, I will see y'all tomorrow. Please hit that like button like you like something and share to keep your people aware. All these freaking bloggers and YouTubers, Instagrammers, whatever, y'all can react to my videos. I don't give a shit. Subscribe, turn the bell, notified, and share to keep your people aware. I will catch y'all in the next one.